Consider a tiny enclosed capsule that fits comfortably in your palm. Within it lies the complete genetic blueprint to cultivate a massive 100-foot tree. It is dense, remarkably heavy for its size, and packed with sufficient raw energy to endure the harshest winter. This isn't some futuristic biohacking technology or a pharmaceutical pill. It's an almond, a walnut, a pistachio. You likely encounter them in the grocery store every week. Perhaps you grab a bag of roasted, salted ones for a gathering. Or, more commonly, you probably bypass them because, for the past 30 years, you've been conditioned to fear one specific word on the label: fat. For decades, particularly if you grew up in the 80s or 90s, we were told that fat is the enemy. We see the calorie count on a bag of cashews, and our brain immediately signals danger. We believe that consuming fat leads to gaining fat, so we return the bag to the shelf and opt for a low-fat, processed snack instead. However, here's the uncomfortable truth. By avoiding these compressed energy capsules to save a few calories, you are actually depriving your body of the essential tools it needs to combat chronic inflammation, the modern world's most silent and deadly killer. Right now, an internal battle is raging within your body. A war against free radicals. Think of free radicals as biological rust. Just as rust corrodes the frame of a vintage car, these unstable molecules are damaging your cells, hardening your arteries, and aging you from the inside out. Do you experience this? It's the stiffness in the morning, the brain fog at 2 p.m., or the recovery time after a workout extending to 2 days instead of 1. That bag of nuts you overlooked wasn't just a snack, it was armor. Almonds and cashews are rich in flavonoids and vitamin E, specific weapons your body needs to halt this oxidation process. Yet, because we are wary of the calorie count, we enter this battle completely unprotected. But what if I told you that the narrative we've been fed is inverted? What if consuming more of these high-fat, calorie-dense foods could actually reduce your waistline, cleanse your arteries, and fundamentally reprogram your body's operating system? It sounds impossible, I know. It seems to contradict the basic arithmetic of calories in, calories out. However, your body isn't a calculator, it's a chemistry lab. And when you grasp the chemistry of what happens when you eat a nut, everything shifts. Before these nutrients can revitalize your health and purify your blood, they must pass the first test, your stomach. And what occurs there challenges everything we've been taught about weight loss. You open the bag, examine the nutrition label. The numbers stare back at you, seemingly mocking your diet plan. A single handful of nuts can contain as many calories as a small meal. If you're tracking your macros or practicing intermittent fasting, you might hesitate, thinking, I'm trying to optimize my weight. Why would I consume a block of pure fat? This is a valid concern. If you consumed a block of sugar with the same calorie content, you would indeed face metabolic issues. But a nut isn't sugar. Here's the scientific revelation that changes everything. A significant study published in Nutrition Research in 2019 investigated this precise issue. They monitored people's eating habits and body weight and uncovered a result that astonished everyone. Individuals who consumed at least 28 grams of nuts daily, roughly a handful, did not gain weight. In fact, they gained less weight and had a significantly lower risk of obesity compared to those who avoided nuts. How is this possible? How can you consume more calories and become leaner? It comes down to the fuel source. When you eat a pretzel or a cracker, it burns like a piece of paper thrown into a fire. Whoosh, a huge surge of energy, followed by a significant crash 10 minutes later. That crash makes you hungry again, prompting you to eat more. It's a metabolic trap. But a nut is like tossing a dense, slow-burning oak log onto the fire. It doesn't flare up, it smolders. It gradually releases energy, steadily, for hours. This triggers a powerful biological mechanism called the satiety signal. The protein and fiber in that handful of peanuts or almonds reach your gut and send a chemical message directly to your brain proclaiming, "We are safe, we are full. You don't need to eat for a while." It's akin to installing new software that prevents you from snacking on unhealthy foods. You're not using willpower to stop eating. You're simply not hungry. This is crucial for those practicing fasting or OMAD, one meal a day. Nuts are the perfect tool to either initiate or conclude your eating window because they instantly stabilize your insulin response. And it's not merely about fullness, it's about function. you must recognize that not all nuts serve the same purpose. Think of them as a specialized construction crew for your body. If you need to build muscle and repair tissue after a gym session, you recruit the heavy lifters, peanuts and almonds, which boast the highest protein content. If you require pure, clean fuel for your brain to dispel fog, you call upon the energy experts, macadamia and walnuts, which contain the highest healthy fat content. If you need a quick burst of energy, you grab pecans. When you begin to view these foods as tools rather than indulgences, the anxiety dissipates. You're not spending calories, you're investing them. You are providing your body with the raw materials it craves. So, your hunger has vanished, and your metabolism is purring like a well-oiled machine. But while you feel full and energized, the real magic isn't happening in your stomach. It's occurring deep within the dark, flowing currents of your bloodstream. This is where the stakes escalate, particularly for men over 40. We need to address the silent killer that causes sleepless nights, cholesterol and heart health. We've all heard the terms LDL, the bad cholesterol, and HDL, the good cholesterol. But let's strip away the medical jargon and visualize what's truly happening. Imagine your arteries as the pipes in your house. LDL cholesterol resembles sticky, thick sludge. Over time, if you consume the wrong foods, sugar, processed oils, that sludge begins to accumulate on the pipe walls. It hardens, narrowing the flow. This restricts blood flow not just to your heart, but throughout your body, your brain, your muscles, and yes, your reproductive system. Blood flow is life. Now, enter the hero of our story, the nut. Specifically, we're talking about compounds called phytosterols. These lipid compounds found in plants are molecular marvels. Because they are almost identical to cholesterol, they compete with it for absorption in your body, effectively preventing the harmful substances from entering your system. But it gets even more specific. Science indicates that different nuts act like different members of a cleaning crew. According to a 2022 review in Food Reviews International, if you want to scrub away that undesirable LDL sludge, you need the scrubbers: almonds, peanuts, pecans, and walnuts. These are the ones actively cleaning the arterial walls. But you don't just want to remove the bad, you want to boost the good. That's where hazelnuts and pistachios come in. They have been shown to elevate HDL levels. Think of HDL as microscopic janitors that patrol your bloodstream, collecting waste and transporting it back to the liver for disposal. When you eat a handful of pistachios, you're essentially hiring a larger cleaning crew. The impact of this is not minor, it's astonishing. Listen closely to these figures. Research suggests that consuming nuts just once a week reduces your risk of heart disease by approximately 4%. That's acceptable, but not transformative. However, if you commit to this, if you incorporate a daily serving of nuts into your routine, that protection skyrockets to a massive 27% reduction in heart disease risk. That is the distinction between a statistic and a survivor. You are literally fortifying your heart with every bite. I want to pause here for a moment because I know this community is disciplined. You experiment, you try things. So, be honest, which nut is your go-to? Are you loading up on walnuts for their omega-3s? Or are you sticking to almonds for convenience? Let me know in the comments what your protocol is, because I'm curious if your favorite nut is actually the one your body needs the most. So at this point, the picture appears perfect. Your heart is pumping cleaner, your waistline is shrinking, and your hunger is under control. But we must be responsible here. There is a dark side to this superfood, a hidden trap that can transform this medicine into a poison. And if you're not careful, you might be causing more harm than good. Let's discuss the unexpected benefits first, as they lead directly into the warning. Beyond the heart, there's the gut. A 2021 review from the International Journal of Food Sciences and Nutrition revealed something fascinating. A higher consumption of nuts might be linked to a reduced risk of colon cancer. It seems that the antioxidants in the fiber not only cleanse your arteries, but also shield your gut, preventing tumor formation. It's like having a security system for your digestive tract. But here's where people make a mistake. They hear that nuts are healthy, so they head to the store and buy honey-roasted peanuts or almonds dusted in smokehouse flavoring. These are delicious, yes, but they are a Trojan horse. These processed nuts are laden with sodium and cheap vegetable oils. If you have high blood pressure or are monitoring your metabolic health, that salt is dangerous. Excessive sodium stiffens your blood vessels, effectively negating all the hard work the nuts were trying to accomplish. You're pressing the accelerator and the brake simultaneously. The salt elevates your blood pressure, increasing the risk of stroke, while the nut attempts to lower it. It's a losing battle. To unleash their superpower, you must embrace the raw or unsalted roasted versions. You need to savor the nut itself, not merely its processed flavoring. However, there's one particular nut that poses a more immediate hazard: the Brazil nut. It's substantial, creamy, and the most concentrated natural source of the mineral selenium on Earth. Selenium is crucial for both your thyroid and immune system. For men, it's vital for testosterone production and sperm quality. While essential, Brazil nuts contain such a high concentration that they straddle a fine line between being nutritious and toxic. This condition is known as selenium intoxication. If you consume Brazil nuts like popcorn, eating an entire bag during a movie, you are inadvertently overdosing your system. This can happen more quickly than you might imagine. Regularly consuming even a slightly excessive amount can lead to hair loss, brittle nails, fatigue, and even nerve damage manifesting as tingling sensations in your hands and feet. It's alarming because it feels like an illness emerging from nowhere. The rule for Brazil nuts is straightforward. Treat them as a prescribed medication, not a casual snack. 1 or 2 a day serves as potent medicine, while a handful can be poisonous. So, we've navigated this dietary minefield. You now understand what to consume, what to avoid, and the critical blunders that send people to the doctor. But how does this knowledge translate into daily practice? How do you transform this scientific understanding into a lifelong habit? It all boils down to the optimal dosage. You don't need to consume vast quantities of food. The USDA guidelines offer clarity on this point. A serving of protein is small yet impactful. We're talking about just 12 almonds. That's all. Alternatively, 24 pistachios, 7 walnut halves, or a mere tablespoon of nut butter suffice. That's all it takes to make a significant change. Now, fast forward your life. Imagine yourself a decade from now, in your 50s, 60s, or 70s. There are 2 potential versions of you. One version continued along the path of least resistance, snacking on empty carbohydrates, riding the sugar roller coaster, and allowing cellular rust to accumulate. That version feels perpetually tired. That version battles inflammation every morning. That version has given up on feeling vibrant. Then there is the other version, the version that consciously built a fortress for their health. This version viewed food as valuable data. You ate walnuts to nourish your brain, almonds to protect your cells, and cashews to bolster your immune system. This version of you is sharper, leaner, and biologically younger. Your arteries are supple, and your mind is clear. You have harnessed the power of compound interest, but for your well-being. You shouldn't limit yourself to just one type of nut. In fact, you shouldn't. Diversify your nutritional portfolio. Consume a variety of nuts. Allow your body to extract the unique nutrients from each distinct shell. You are unlocking a veritable treasure trove that nature specifically crafted to keep you alive and flourishing. You now possess this knowledge. You understand the science. You comprehend the risks. Now, it's time to decipher the code. Don't just snack, fuel your destiny. Treat your body as the high-performance machine it truly is. If you wish to continue uncovering the secrets of your own biology, if you want to discover what else you might be eating that is either preserving or harming you, please hit that like button to let me know. Subscribe so you won't miss our upcoming deep dives. We have some incredible topics on the horizon, and be sure to check out the suggested video on your screen right now to maintain this momentum. I'll see you there.
This video is for educational purposes only and isn't medical advice. If you have any medical conditions or take prescription medications, please talk to your doctor before making any changes.